Hey guys, welcome. This is part 2 of my Selling Your Art / Your First Show mini series. Today we're going to be visiting Dollar Tree and Five Below to see what kind of setup goodies we can find. We're going to be looking for plate stands for displaying prints and for displaying books and for cards, things like that. We're going to be looking for tablecloths. We're going to be looking for basically anything that will work for your first table setup on a budget. Now, Dollar Tree and Five Below are not your only options. Obviously, you have Amazon, you have Walmart. I would also highly recommend Goodwill and other thrift type stores. And don't assume that just because you found it at Dollar Tree or Five Below that is the best deal, especially for items in bulk. Speaking of items in bulk, you can order items in bulk from DollarTree.com if you find something that you actually really like and you want to find more of it. However, like I said, not necessarily the best options like long term, not necessarily going to be the best made things, but it can be a great way to get started on a very low price point. I would also recommend scavenging your parents' house, your grandparents' house, your aunts, your uncles, borrowing from friends while you're kind of getting on your feet. You don't have to make this huge initial investment in your table and in your setup while you're just getting started. If you make friends with other artists in your area, they may be willing to share what they have with you. So I can't wait for us to hop in the car and go see what Dollar Tree and Five Below have to offer. I also want to point out that this segment was recorded in early January, so there's a lot of Valentine's stuff. And Five Below had been like completely wiped out after Christmas. So depending on what time of year you go, you'll find different things. So if you have time to play around with, it makes sense to just kind of keep your eyes open every time you go to Five Below or Dollar Tree. Also, if you have shops like Daiso in your area, that can be a really great place to find super cute convention essentials. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a Daiso, and when I was in the Houston area, I wasn't able to make it out this time, but I look forward to going out and seeing what we can find over at the Houston Daiso in the future. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you stick around. If you haven't watched part 1 where I walk you through setting up a table, what to sell, and how to display it, I will have that in the cards as well in the description. I highly recommend you check it out. And if you found this video to be helpful, useful, and informative, it would really mean the world to me if you took the time to share it with your friends and other artists who might be interested in tabling at conventions. We are not one another's competition. Often we are one another's best customers. So creating a community that helps one another and provides resources to one another engenders goodwill and creates a healthier art community overall. We all learn from other artists, so sharing what has been helpful to you is a great way to help foster that community. So grab your keys, let's hop in the car and go to Dollar Tree. All right, my friends, on a budget, we are at my local Dollar Tree. This is the one I am familiar with, and we are looking for stuff that you could set up your first indoor convention or indoor artist alley or indoor craft fair space with. So this is going to be about as on a budget you can get without necessarily going to Goodwill or getting it just outright for free. So while we're here, we are looking for a tablecloth, we are looking for display things, and we're also looking for things that can work as signage. And this is all going to kind of vary based on your table. We're also here around Valentine's Day, so if you happen to have like a sweetheart or a pink or like a sweet Lolita kind of setup, this might work for your table. Now, some of this stuff does change seasonally. There's going to be some times a year where you have more luck than others, but we have these cute
little bins here. These could be a good size for displaying prints, mini prints, plushes, soaps, maybe candy, that sort of thing. You have some that are a little shallower than others. If you do like shopping basket stuff for your customers, this could be a cute way to have like a little shopping basket for them. Now for my table, I have a lot of like flower decoration stuff around it usually. So these kind of faux flowers might be a nice touch. This might be very, very cute for hand lettered signage or even doing like vinyl signage. The same with those little hearts. They also have these really cute bigger hearts that probably not relevant but still very cute. We also have like fairy lights, like we were talking about earlier, for lighting up an area that might be a little bit more dull. So they actually have a lot of really cute stuff. These cute little clothespins could be a way to pin your prints maybe up on a hanging line or even up on your grid wall. I will say though, I've tried clothespins in the past. They're not the most sturdy, especially for heavier things. So this isn't a tablecloth, but it's a table runner. This could be a really cute way, if this goes with your table theme, to kind of zone your table or to draw someone's interest. Or you could even use this as a banner and hand letter your name or your business name across it.
And you could even laminate this, like with plastic laminator.
If you had like, I don't know anyone who has access to like a school grade laminator though.
You go to Educator and have anything laminated.
Educator is a local education supply store in this area. You could do that, but it would be there. Oh,
and make it stiffer too.
Yeah, if you wanted it to be stiffer. But if you're having to roll it up to fly it, that's not such a... It depends on what you're looking for. So at Dollar Tree, you could go with the cheap disposable tablecloths. I've definitely seen people do that with this. That's not my preference. It does have a tendency to look kind of cheap, but if you sell food, this might be perfectly fine because people are going to assume that you're using something disposable for sanitary reasons. If you're looking for bags to package people's sales in, these are very cute. They are plastic though, so they're not going to be biodegradable. And this is in the party section. You could also use wrapping paper as your tablecloth or even on top of your tablecloth just to kind of theme your table a little bit more, especially if you're on a budget or you're still trying to figure out exactly what you're looking for and what you're looking to do. I actually like the plastic little tray things. I use those as some of my sticker dividers and sticker holders. They're just kind of cute and they're very lightweight. Little trinket boxes and bags, both the organza and these are actually tool bags, could be a fun way to package purchases. Paper lanterns could be a cute way to decorate your table depending on the theme. And they also have these very cute paper pom-poms. You could hang those from your banner. This really cute little paper rainbow, and then these like honeycomb ice cream cones. So they actually have a lot of fun, kind of lightweight, inexpensive ways that you can add a little bit of pizzazz and kind of zhuzh up your table. Also have favor boxes. So Dollar Tree has a lot of like packaging options. Now, this isn't the cheapest you could get. If you were buying in bulk, you could get cheaper. If you're just buying enough to figure out what works for you, this could be a great place to start. So if you feel like spending a little bit more money, the plus section might have some like tablecloths, other table decor, display stuff that might work quite well. These might work well for hand lettered signs. Here's a cute floral and egg garland, and they actually have a few options for that. So it kind of depends on how your table is set up. If you're willing to gut it, this would make a really cute maybe earring, necklace, that sort of thing display. And then this is a cute little metal bunny tray display. Speaking of lights, they have these little LED pucks for $3 for a little bit of a spotlight, as well as the LED wheel lights. I used to buy these in bulk, not the multicolors, but the single ones like the firefly lights, and just kind of scatter them on my table for darker shows. Depending on the theme of your table, like if you do like Morinky, cottagecore, that sort of stuff, these faux moss bunnies are very, very cute, but I promise you, people are going to try to buy them off your table. They have little chalkboards here. They're very thin and plastic, but they might work really well for larger signage. They also have these wooden boards here for more signage. If you want something sturdy, you can also use, you know, like whiteboards, or you can honestly just hand letter it onto cardboard or print it out on cardboard. You do have some options. Now, for my plush friends, these stacking baskets might be a good way to not only tote your products to shows, but also, because they are open baskets, display them. So in the stationery section, we have mailing boxes, we have mailers, we have padded mailers of all sorts. They do actually have the coupon, or they call it an expandable file folder. So you can use that if you're still dealing in cash. That can be a good way to not only bring it with you so you don't have to leave it, but also keep your bills organized so that you can make change quickly. If you happen to have cork boards, these might work for you. And then remember, we were talking about grid wall accessories at Dollar Tree. I haven't tried this out yet, but they do have several different options for adding, like maybe just a little bit of pegboard to your setup, and the holders right there and the little shelf right there so that you can display little things. They also have these here, which I picked this up, but these seem to only work with theirs, and I didn't pick any of those up, and I also don't see any of those, but that could be an option for creating additional display as well. These little book rings, you can hang things from your grid wall, whether you want to do your prints in like a sleeve protector and punch a couple holes at the top and then just connect them all to make kind of a flexible curtain. You could do that with mini prints or postcards as well, or if you just want to like hook them on to your grid wall or your retail grids. We were talking about whiteboards, and we have some little whiteboards that are very lightweight, and those would be great to hang up on your grid wall, or you could display it on the table. So I've never seen these here before. This is kind of like a little junk section, but they have these little adhesive cork pad foam buttons. Boy, is that a mouthful. Now these attached to something a little bit more sturdy, like some foam core, could make a cheap and lightweight cork board that you can hang things from. The craft aisle is always full of fun ideas, whether you're making things or for your show display. So we have some more of these. We have some stronger, more sturdy ones. We've got some Velcro. We have these little containers here, which if you're actively making things while you're at the show, like you're beading, for example, you can keep those things organized. We have some small wooden trays that could be painted and used for display. We also have, when I say for display, I mean displaying like stickers, buttons, charms, that sort of thing. We also have some small cork boards, lots of small cork boards actually, like so many, that could be used for signage. We also have our picture frames. And what I used to like to do, in fact, those 8x10s don't look half bad. Since I sold a lot of original art, I would frame some of it in little quick frames and display them in the quick frames. And that kind of already puts the idea into people's heads, like, oh, I could put this up in my home. Oh, this could go in such and such a room. We also have these here, might be great for mini prints or for signage or for displaying postcards. So in the photo frame area, if you do art, whether you do, like this is super cute if you do like mini square paintings or mini square mini prints. That could be a really cute way to display it. So actually Dollar Tree has a lot of really cute stuff right now. I'm kind of surprised by how much cute stuff they have. Now, this Dollar Tree is actually really pretty good. It often has cute stuff, but right now they have a lot of cute stuff because they're just switching over from winter into spring. So definitely fits how I set up my table. Now, if you're selling jewelry, you definitely want to have a mirror so people can see it. And then they also have those like magnetic photo frames that, depending on the magnet, you could stick it to your grid wall. If you have a way to hang these, like maybe on your grid wall, they have these miniature hanging shelves, which could be super cute if you sell like candles, soaps, something like that, resin stuff, and that way you can kind of tier it. Now, this would be particularly cute if you put like some backer on your grid wall, whether it's fabric or paper. In fact, you could use wrapping paper to cover your grid wall just so that people aren't looking at like straight up good grid wall.
It does come with string too.
Yeah, it comes with pretty much everything you need to hang it except the thing you're hanging it on. Ribbon and ribbons can be really helpful in kind of making your table a little bit cuter, a little bit more appealing, making it feel a little bit more like a shop by just kind of decorating it. Now these are little bead organizers or screw organizers, but if you sell stickers, if you sell charms, anything like that, that will fit in something like this, these things are amazing. I actually have several of a bigger version of these to hold my charms. And zip ties, they've got the ginormous zip ties, so if you're doing tent stuff, that could be really helpful for just kind of strapping things down. All right, so these things are like little mini plastic terrariums, but these could be very cute. If you make like mini plushes, you can pop one in there and then hang it from it. These are table runners and pillowcases. I still have not found any tablecloths yet. So for tablecloths, you might need to hit like Goodwill
or Home Goods.
Oh no, we're going cheap here.
Cheap?
Yeah.
Good luck on Goodwill.
Well, Home Goods
Maybe garage sale.
Garage sales, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you can find tablecloths here, sometimes not. They're never particularly high quality. They're gonna get like wrecked really quick. So it's gonna be something that you're probably gonna want to upgrade sooner rather than later. Just a heads up, most anime cons are cold and you're going to be kind of stuck there for multiple hours. So it's not like you're going to have much of a chance to warm up. So if you tend to run cold like I do, then a fleece blanket, something you can put on your lap, that's just like a little lap blanket, doesn't take up a lot of space, is really, really helpful. It could be a cheap little scarf like this, or they have some little fleece lap blankets further into the store too. But just something that you can leave with your convention stuff so you're not freezing would be really helpful. For outdoor shows, hot hands and hot feet, which they do actually sell at Dollar Tree, my mom just pointed that out, are really helpful as well. And that's something you may want to just leave in your convention stuff just in case. Those things are a lifesaver. You leave them in your pockets and you dip your hands in when your hands get cold, and that'll help retain the warmth for longer. So here in the food container aisle, they sell these little things. These can be great for holding spare change, for holding safety pins, bobby pins, magnets, any of those little items. You can pop your square reader in there. And if you need like a converter, you can keep them together. That works well for me. And just kind of make a con box or a con kit where everything's all together all the time, so you don't have to spend a lot of time repacking. Here we go, the Dollar Tree tablecloths. Not a whole lot of options. It's Pivo with flannel backing. You have black, you have beige, and then you have this sort of cute, actually, pinwheel cover. But you know what? Having something on your table is way better than having nothing on your table. And I've been to so many shows where all they have are ratchet, beaten up tables from like the 1970s. So even this is a whole lot better than nothing at all. So something to keep in mind is that a lot of shows, your food options are going to be non-existent, or you're not going to be able to get away from your table, especially if you're tabling alone long enough to get a snack, or you may be so busy that you don't have time to get a snack. So Dollar Tree can be an affordable place to pick up just some little snacky things that you can kind of discreetly keep under the table that you can kind of munch on, during the show. Now, my preference is smoothies because I usually end up so busy that I don't have time to eat. And since I have a fake front tooth, I kind of eat funny anyway. So, I prefer drinkable snacks, but, Dollar Tree's got a lot of really easy options that you can just some of them are like shelf stable too, that you can just kind of throw in a bag, including things like banana chips and nuts, things that might stick to your ribs a little bit longer. While I do love me some chips, I know that I can eat chips and then be terribly thirsty and terribly hungry like less than an hour later. So there are some options that you can just kind of snack on that'll kind of stick with you. All right, so that was what Dollar Tree had to offer for doing conventions on a budget. There's definitely a lot of stuff there that you could do your first show. I didn't see, but they probably have like plate stands. Those would be with the picture frames. Small easels. Those would be with the picture frames. Smaller zip ties. Those would be any kind of place. Portfolio-esque things, maybe, or page protectors in a binder that you could put for commission examples, or you could display your mini prints. Those are some other things that you can find at most Dollar Trees that would be helpful for your first show. Okay, so next we're going to go see what Five Below has to offer for your convention or craft fair table. All right, craft fair friends, if you're going to be standing the whole time, or even convention friends, having something a little cushier to stand on might help spare your feet. So you could almost use those like anti-fatigue mats. All right, so if you need some display, your options are kind of limited here. It kind of depends on what you got. They do have these little flat trays like this. Could be cute for soaps or plushies. They've got these little shelves here. That would also be cute for smaller things. I think we probably came at the wrong time because this is just all empty. Our options at this one for display stuff are a little bit limited. We do have something like this, which would make a good convention go kit, where you have your money, a chapstick, some safety pins, a pen, your post-it notes, like that sort of stuff could all be in here and just stay in there. These are kind of, now if you do like pencils or things like that or hair accessories, this might work to display that. Remember we were talking about if you sell jewelry, having a little mirror. These might be cute for that. We have these. These are really more suited if you are selling from home as like sticker organization, rather than necessarily something that you would have out on your convention table that people could kind of go through. Little bottles of hand sanitizer, because ain't nobody looking to get confred or COVID again this year. I'll be honest, while I love Five Below, I'm really not seeing a whole lot. Maybe that desk calendar organizer, maybe the keyboard tray would be cute. But it's kind of a stretch. Like Dollar Tree, at least so far, had more stuff. Maybe the Post-it notes, if you need to take notes, could be a cute option. Could also pick up some cute pens, but I feel like compared to what we saw at Dollar Tree, it's all just kind of overpriced here. The glitter table liner is pretty cute. It is literally just this wide though. Could be cute as a table runner, or you could make a really cute banner with this and like some vinyl letters. A little bit more along the lines of anti-fatigue mats. These could be a good option for creating a floor, like if you're doing a craft fair and you want a less muddy, more stable surface to set your stuff up at. And then they also have some more yoga mats up there. The pickings were kind of slim in the regular part of Five Below, so we are in the Five Beyond section, and maybe we can find some cute decor stuff like shelves, things you can use to help set up your table here. Remember how we were talking about staying warm at shows? This could be a good little convention lap blanket just to leave in your not in your car, but like in your setup. Talking about mirrors, these could be cute. These can be cute signage. I actually have bought several of these. The problem is they drop those little plastic letters. So you need to wrap them in saran wrap, and even then they're still going to drop letters. So maybe if you like glued them or hot glued them just to hold them in place to make them a little bit more sturdy, that could be some really cute signage. Okay, this is a little bit more like it. So we have some really cute mini shelves like these. Could be good. I mean, you're gonna have to hang them on something, right? They're not gonna stand on their own, but like if you can secure them to your grid wall, it could be really cute for candles, for soaps, resin crafts, plushies, things that are a little bit larger. You could put little photo frames with your art in them. I know it's kind of a stretch compared to what we were talking about earlier, but when you're just getting started, you do have to think creative, and you do have to kind of expand what you're looking for and what you can do with what. Now, normally they have more of those little plastic organization bins. It's like right after Christmas, right after the New Year, so I think they're just changing out their stock, and they just don't have a lot of the cute decor stuff that they normally have. Here is another really cute little shelf. It does need to be hung, but if you have a sturdy grid system, or if you have like retail grids, that could be really cute. These shoe racks are actually really cute for plushes, for anything larger that could be stacked. Even if you do like cosplay items, this could be a good way to display that without spending a whole lot of money. They also have a little coat rack here that also would be great for people who make clothing things, again, like cosplay. If you're selling larger pieces, they also have standing floor easels. I've never used their easels from here, so I can't tell you how sturdy they are or if they could really stand up to display at an outdoor show. Okay, so we were talking about lighting earlier. They have these kind of like little hex lights, so you could use those to make your name, your studio name. They also have the little hex lights here. They also have the little they say that's projection. So I'm not super sure yet what that would mean, but you could definitely use that to add a little additional light. They also have some puck lights. Now, one thing to think of is if you're using your phone to run your credit card transactions or to look up reference, you need to keep it charged. You can pick up some pretty decent charging cables here for not too much money. Sometimes you can also find battery backups, but I'll recommend an Anker battery backup for that. That's what I use, and they just hold up really well, and they don't cost all that much money. They're an investment well worth making. All right, talking about lights, they have these little battery powered lanterns that could be cute depending on what your setup looks like. Okay, so disappointingly, Five Below really didn't have anything, which I was really surprised by, because there are times I go to Five Below and they have a bunch of stuff that would work really well for craft fairs and conventions. It's just kind of hit or miss. I was surprised Dollar Tree had so much good stuff. So you win some, you lose some. And you know what? It pays to check back often and just kind of keep a running list of what you need.
So we saw a lot at Dollar Tree and not so much at Five Below. I love Five Below, but every time I go looking for a specific thing, I cannot find what I'm looking for. And every time I just go for fun, I end up finding way too much stuff. So it's one of those hit and miss sort of things. Like I mentioned at the start, it really pays to just go every so often, keep your eyes open, and just kind of be open to possibilities and open to creativity. Some other great places to check for convention table materials, depending on your vibe and what you're selling. I really like World Market. It's really got this like cottagecore, hobbitcore vibe going on that obviously really resonates with the kind of work that I make, like my comics and my adorable art prints. So that's a great place to pick up additional tablecloths or little bits and bobs here and there to kind of spruce up my table. But keep in mind, anything cute that you have on your table, people are probably going to want to buy it rather than your art. So your mileage may vary, but if you have a favorite place, is it like a retail overstock sort of place? Have you tried checking out when stores are liquidating and like selling their racks and selling their shelves for display items? Have you tried outlet stores like Tuesday Morning, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods? Or do you find them to be too expensive? Do you custom make your own things using like Pinocchio or other laser cutting services? Share what you do down in the down in the comments below. Almost said contents and then almost said description. Share what you're doing down in the comments. Feel free to share pictures. You can share them over on my art-centric Discord server, the Paint Box. I would love to see what your setup looks like. If you like my art and you would like to own some of it, but you are never going to be at a show that I am at for whatever reason, you can find me at natosoup.com/shop. I have comics and coloring books and prose books and art prints and pins and so much more. Even if you think you will visit me at a show, please take a moment, head on over to my shop, see if there's anything that catches your fancy, because I do tend to sell out of stuff. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me and letting me share what I know about selling your art and setting up a table display. Hopefully I pointed you guys in the direction of some really fun and very affordable setup ideas that will make tabling at your first show just a little bit more accessible. One more word of recommendation. A lot of what I pointed out to you guys, that would work really well for smaller shows. So very local anime cons, maybe little one-day shows, craft fairs, library comic cons, that sort of thing. It would probably not compete well at really large anime cons, which can get extremely competitive for displays and for setup. So this is genuinely recommended as like training wheels. Your first show, you need some setup stuff. You don't want to spend an arm and a leg, nor should you spend an arm and a leg as you're learning how to do this. You can also check Artist Alley Facebook groups to see if anybody's looking to sell some of their old display stuff at a discount, and that will, get you nicer display things at a lower price point. So hopefully I've given you guys some food for thought. Hopefully I've given you guys some inspiration, and I look forward to seeing you guys again really soon. You don't have to sell your art. Making art can be a hobby that brings you joy and that you enjoy, but for many people, being able to earn a little extra money off of their art helps make it a more sustainable practice. And we are all about making art a habit here. So have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.